Look, I got a question for you guys. Look, come here. What makes someone a good 2K player? Is it scoring 65 points per game, going 25 and 2 in the rec, with randoms, by the way? Scoring 178 points a game. How about 203 points? How about beating someone like Greenlight, Bullet Passer, and Vlonsky, some of the 3 best players in the game, along with Jask and Cap, some old league players? What makes them good players? In this video, we're going to talk about what makes someone a good 2K player, in my opinion. My checklist for being, okay, this person's good at the game. This person's above average at the game. This person's below average at the game. The thing about this is it's completely subjective. My opinion on who's good at the game might completely differ to yours. You might value someone who's really good at dunking the ball, a really good passer. Not to say that I don't value that, but what separates someone from each tier? I've got 5 tiers on how I'm grading people, and these tiers are kind of broad because, as I've talked about in past videos, 2K is not a black and white game. There's a million different scenarios that all of you guys fall into. Some of you guys play with randoms, some of you guys play with squads, some of you guys play rank perm, some of you guys play matchups, some of you guys play stage, park, 2s, 1s, etc. So in the broadest way I can, I'm going to try to narrow down my opinion on what makes someone a good 2K player. Let's get into the video. First off, at the bottom of the tier list, I have the noob, right? Everyone knows what the noob is. The newbie just picked up the game, can't make a wide open shot, can't dribble, which isn't necessarily important, can't rebound, play defense, just is new to 2K. We've all been there. In general, I don't think I'm going to have that many noobs watching my videos because these videos are targeted for, in general, like probably players in the top 3 tiers. But yeah, just, they're not exactly bad people, just more so new to the game. They're not going to help you win. You don't want to get paired up with these guys in your random ranked games. It's unfortunate when it happens. You can't fault them because they're new to the game. They want to play too, but yep. I remember in 2K17 playing the first time, walking in the park with my 64 overall athletic finisher, with my brown shirt, my gray pants, and my 2K generics, and no one wanted to play with me. Now, I've become a super sweat since then, but we've all been through this stage, and of course, I had to include on this tier list. Next up, my least favorite type of person to play with, but a step above the noob, is the guy who thinks he's him. Let me explain why this guy is so low on the list. This guy isn't this low on the list because he's bad at the game. It's because they can't comprehend that there's 4 other people on the court, right? Talking for 5s, right? And even 3s, they have a lack of IQ, right? The guy who won't stop cutting, right? There's nothing wrong with cutting, but the guy who's in the paint 24/7, the guy who's always calling for the ball, the guy who's sits paint, the guy who just run around setting screens with his little 6'4" point guard, the 6'4" point guard who dribbles for 20 seconds, right? He can take any form. He can play any position. And unfortunately, these guys tend to have mics, and they tend to be the guys to call timeouts, the guys to just ruin the chemistry. Now, me personally, I'd much rather play with a noob, but that's because I can score like 80 points in a game. Not to sound like that, I didn't want to make this about me, but in general, these guys can't comprehend that, oh, this guy's got the ball, he's got his guy beat. Let me just spot up. If my guy helps, I can knock down a 3. Instead of running to the paint, bringing his guy, oh my gosh, I can't even, man. Don't even get me started. You guys have all played with these guys. I hope you're not these guys. In general, try to keep off the mic if it's going to be negative, right? There's nothing wrong with get on the mic and, hey, get your act together, right? Like, let's not be an idiot. But let's not get on the mic and call people, ass at the game. Because at the end of the day, that doesn't solve anything, right? The guy who gets on the mic and, oh, you got to give me the ball, blah, 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 blah. There's plenty of my subs who play with me in games. In general, I almost always have my mic off, right? Just kind of do my thing. And yeah, you guys should do the same thing. These guys, not the most fun people to play with. Now, the I'm him guy, right? That's probably less than 5% of the 2K community, but those guys still exist, and I have to talk about them. Going into the next thing, my personal favorite people to play with, and I think 70% of the 2K community is this, and that's the average guy, the role player, right? These guys know who they are, and that's why they win games. They have brains, right? They make the extra pass, they can knock down their open shots. They know when to cut. They play solid defense, right? They're not setting quadruple screens. They're not clogging the paint. You can tell they've played some form of basketball. You can tell that something's going on up there. Now, in a vacuum, right? Meaning there's no other scenarios, right? 1v1, are they going to guard the best Pro-Am guard? No. Are these guys going to score on the best Pro-Am lockdowns? No, they're not. That doesn't mean that in the rec, in the park, they don't do their job. That doesn't mean they're not cool people. And again, I think 70% of the 2K community is this. These guys just get on the game. They're not labbing a bunch of dribble moves. Make their open shots. They use their brain, their eyeballs, and they hoop. It's as simple as that. They're not the creme de la creme, and they don't think they are either, most importantly. And in general, those people have a lot of success. Holy cow. This is easily the hardest here to rank, because these guys take a million different forms, right? I label these guys the fake sweats. Marauder, give me your definition of a fake sweat. Well, these guys are in your top 15%. These guys know how to dribble. They've got good defense. They've got general IQ. And they win a lot of games, right? These guys care about their win percent. They've got the purple and the gold. So why am I calling them fake sweats? Because, unfortunately, and not everyone, but some of these guys really think they're the creme de la creme, the best of the best players on this game. Now, I think this is the best way to explain it, but in a game with, let's say there's 4 average role players, right, on each team. In a random rec game, it's 4 average rec players versus 4 average rec players. This guy is going to outplay his opponent. And if his team is completely even, he is going to outplay his opponent enough to win his matchup, right? He's going to score more points, might play a little bit better defense, knock down a couple more shots. He's going to be able to create a little bit more. These guys usually don't play random rec. These guys are the guys who care a lot about their win percentage. They only play with other purples, other golds, other people with similar win percentages. That doesn't mean they're bad. That just means they're selective and they care a lot about winning. What separates the 2s and the 1s is strictly who they play. And I'm going to get into the top tier right now, but that is the difference between the best players in the game and the above average players in the game. Let's get into what makes you one of the best players in the game. Okay, so the guys right above the fake sweats, the actual sweats, the best people in the game, the top of the tier list. These guys, what qualifies you as an actual sweat is simply playing against the best people in the game. If you play other people, like the best people in the game for fun, not for fun, but you do that on a nightly basis, then you are a sweat. You're playing matchups for money. You're playing in these leagues. You're playing wagers, series, maybe in the stage, in the 3s maybe. I don't know. You're playing against good people, and you know that, and that's like the main reason you play 2K. Then you're a sweat. Obviously, it's not just black and white like that. People, you could argue ranked is a sweat, like ranked prime. Probably not. Yeah, you've got those more competitive rec game plays, But in general, you take one of these teams from Pro-Am, you put them in a rec game versus the fake sweats, if you will, right? These all purples with 95 win percentages. You know, these Pro-Am people, right, this top 1%, they're winning by 70, and that's literally not an exaggeration. These guys are nerds, right? They're way above, like, your average player. This is the only game they play. They're playing a couple hours every single night. They make their builds to fulfill a certain thing, and they're going at the best people in the game. These other best people in the game, a lot of these guys used to play for money. You know, we got a lot of old league players who are in post-draft right now, like a million of them. So there's a lot of... Pro-Am's big right now. And these guys in these leagues playing for money, I think that's the clearest cut. That's the line. You're in that top 1%. Obviously, if you're watching this video, still at this point, you're probably in that 3 to 1 range, right? You're probably in the average level to the top. Some of you might be in between that 3 to 2. Some of you might be in between that 2 to 1. As I've said a million times, it's not as clear as that, right? There's a lot of things that can impact that. Just as simply as I could put it, that's what I did in this video. If you guys want more of this type of stuff, I can do that. I know most of you guys only care about my shooting videos. That's, you know, where I got my rep from, you know, making a bunch of reds and stuff, as you guys can see in these clips. So, but I like making these types of videos. So if you guys want more of this type of stuff, I can definitely do that. Just let me know. Let me know what you guys think of this video. Let me know what you think of the tier list. Let me know if it's garbage. Let me know where you think you fall. Let me know if you would add a tier. Until next time, peace out.